It's your boy Captain Hunter coming at you again. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Really appreciate it. Make sure that you do me a favor. Hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. Hit that rate, subscribe, and share button as we do what we got to do over here on Captain Hunter's podcast, trying to make men the best versions of themselves that they can be, trying to make men the best versions of themselves that they can be. So it's the weekend as I record this, and sometimes I just sit around like everyone else, just scrolling through Instagram, and not only are the videos funny, the little short videos, but the comment section, just like everyone else, gets me going, right? So it's really the comment section. So I wanted to show a couple of videos that I saw, and I wanted to kind of put them together to make a coherent message about the importance of fathers, right? I got my dad shirt on, and I just finally got, for all this time I was doing a podcast, I was doing it for one small little monitor. So I just upgraded. And I got two monitors. I still got the laptop. I'm still doing it from that. But I just, put the laptop away. Got two big monitors. So if you see me going back and forth, that's the reason why. Yeah, congratulations to me. So I'm going to play a video here, and then we're going to play two other videos. I want to put this together about how we should raise and how we should think about young men and boys and all that kind of stuff. So here we go. Let's go through the first one, and let's play a game here. Let's count the going through stop signs. Count the times the lack of going through stop signs.
Survey. They said black men. Over 70% of black men is hated by their children. Over 70%. But peep this. This is guys that is active in their children's lives. The ones that's not active is only 50%. So if you active in your kid's life, it's a 1 in 4 chance they don't like your black ass. If you're not active, it's damn near 50-50 chance they like your black ass. But they said worldwide with all nationalities, it's a 60% rate that the father, that the alpha male is not liked. You're the bad guy for trying to protect everybody. You're the bad guy for trying to keep the family together. It's a mean, cruel world. Y'all stay on point and watch y'all back.
All right, I'm going to let that run in the background so you can continue to count the the stop sign runnage. So, I look for that statistics. I look for that survey, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But I want to talk about the importance of this, right? So let's just say that the numbers that he's quoting there are true, right? So what could we do? What should we do in order to raise responsible children who not only grow up to love us and to adore us and to want to be around us, but that we can still instill morals, values, ethics, and want to come see us in our old age. There was, let me see if I can pull it up here. So if you remember here, this was an article that was, last year there was a big to-do about this particular article talking about how men are dying of loneliness, whether it's in hospitals, daycares, or adult care centers, etc. Right? That we're just being lonely. And so this was a big to-do about that, right? So, they don't have any friends and all this kind of stuff, right? So I wanted to point that out because, this isn't something that is necessarily the case, right? So if we go back to this particular situation, which the guy's talking about as he violates traffic controls, we see that this is it's not a necessary outcome that has to happen. So if you're feeling as if you're being isolated, alone, and your kids don't love you, then we got to do something about that, right? I don't agree a lot with the trope of toxic masculinity, but we have to figure out a balance and how we do these things and how we become better, loving, caring fathers who raise responsible adults who then want to see us later on. You can't be 100% disciplined all the time. So let me play another video here, and we'll get into it. I'm gonna leave the sound off here. So there's music playing in the background here, but you can see the intensity on this young boy's face, and I think that's Russian on the back of their shirts, right? And it's just 100% intensity the whole time, right? 100% intensity. Brings them back to the middle. Excellent shoulder throw. You know, this is either judo or sambo or a combination. So it's a good job, and the kid ends up winning. But you can see the intensity on his face. Now, why? Now, in the comment section, if I can pull up some of the comments here, maybe there was some in here about Chuck Norris, right? Just, you know, we saw Chuck Norris as a kid. This kid, so we can see some of the funniest comments I thought, right? He owns the kindergarten. That little kid tucks his parents in at night and checks in the closet for the boogeyman. Chuck Norris takes self-defense lessons from that kid. He gives the son vitamin D, right? So these are some of the comments in here. It's just hilarious comments. So I played that because, you know, right? So this obviously, right, we're talking about the involvement of parents. Obviously, his parents got him in this, you know, the sport, and they just gave him that intensity. At least I hope they did, right? I hope he didn't come out the womb like that. But anyway, but at the same time that this is going on, it's important to congratulate this kid, to show him some love, tell him that you love him, tell him that you're very, very proud of him, win or lose, right? To the kid in the red who lost, the father still has to tell him, listen, I love you, we'll get him next time, right? It's very, very important to instill, you know, graciousness in victory and in defeat. It's very, very important to show humility in a defeat and graciousness in victory, right? So that's the lesson that we can learn from this, right? And I don't know anything about the Russian culture or anything like that. My point is to these young children in their young ages, the young ages that you have with your children, tell them, teach them the right way, how to be, how to go, how to move, how to function, and to be gracious and humble at the same time, right? Show respect and all that. The intensity there didn't stop in the kid's face even as he raised his arm. He's still ready to go at it. Right? I wonder if this kid took his lunch money or something like that. I don't know. So anyway, so listen, I think it's certainly a lesson that could be learned, should be learned, and all that. So I want to play one more video, and I want to tie this all together here, concerning how we go about ensuring that our children become the best versions of themselves as they move and function in this world. How should we operate as men, telling them the way to go, telling them how to be, etc., etc.
Oil cap. You gonna look at the oil cap? I'm pulling it off for you so that you don't have to move. You see this oil cap right here? Yes, it's gonna tell you what kind of oil your vehicle uses. You understand? Yes, sir. You see right here it says 5W20. Got it? Yes, sir. I have yet to see a car that doesn't tell you. So every car on the lid is gonna tell you what type of oil the freaking car uses. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're gonna go to the parts store. You're gonna say, I need some 5W20 motor oil. Got it?
Yes, sir.
That's gonna go in this particular vehicle. Now, I like to get the best oil to use so you can go longer without getting the oil change. This motor oil. Got it?
Yes, sir.
This is a freaking oil filter pliers. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Say oil filter pliers.
Oil filter pliers.
Drain pan.
Drain pan.
Drain pan.
Drain pan.
Say oil filter.
Oil filter.
Oil filter.
Oil filter.
Why do we need a jack stand?
Support.
For extra support. Say extra support.
Extra support.
Extra support.
Extra support.
Basically, you don't want to die, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Drain plug, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a screw, but it's a drain plug, you understand?
Yes, sir.
So now that we got the drain plug right here, we're gonna freaking find the socket that fits it, and we're gonna unscrew it so all the old oil come out, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Oil, see that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, now we're gonna wait for all the old oil to drip out, you understand?
Yes, sir. Sir.
All right, now I'm gonna put the freaking drain plug back, okay?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
So what is being demonstrated here? I don't know if he's the father of any of the children there, but what's being demonstrated is masculinity at its finest, giving back to the community, giving back to the youngsters, getting them off the street, telling them the way to go. And this is the way we ought to be at all times. So I can appreciate this. I can appreciate the Russian dad who put him in that sambo, judo, jiu-jitsu, whatever it was. And so if we do things like this, if we operate like this, we become the best versions of ourselves. And that way we can help the next generation of young men become the best versions of themselves. We can break the cycles by getting them off the streets, teaching them how to be men, teaching them how to go about their daily business. If you watch my other videos about hanging a TV on a wall, then this is exactly how we counteract that particular type of narrative, right? You want to produce better men? Then we got to have good men stepping up like these men here, so we don't have to complain about the other young people, about the other situations in which we don't feel as if we're being heard et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Play this one more last.
They did a survey. They said black men, over 70% of black men is hated by their children. Over 70%. But peep this is guys that is active in their children's lives. The ones that's not active is only 50%. So if you active in your kid's life, it's a 1 in 4 chance they don't like your black ass. If you're not active, it's damn near 50-50 chance they like your black ass. But they said worldwide with all nationalities, it's a 60% rate that the father, that the alpha male is not liked. You're the bad guy for trying to protect everybody. You're the bad guy for trying to keep the family together. It's a mean, cruel world. Y'all stay on point and watch y'all back.
Again, my contention is you don't have to be this way, right? So let's read some of these comments here, right? So let's read some. I did end up getting in on the comment section here, right? So this is me at the top. You sure are the reason they put speed bumps on the road. Dude ran 2 stop signs and a possible, right? He possibly ran another one, right? Didn't you just run a speed stop sign? I am the father of 3 and I don't care if they like me or not. I am their father, not their friend. I'm here to raise and protect and provide for them and discipline them. I think that we got to figure out a way to do both. I think that we got to figure out a way that we do both. 377 likes. That was a week ago. Let's read some of these replies here. I didn't do that before. Boom. Well said, brother. Rakim, that part. The alpha male isn't there to be liked, but to be respected. Most men are liked because real men set rules in place. The assignment is to parent, not to be liked. What percentage stop at stop sign? You won't be active guy for long. Beware of people that post statistics or experimental results while giving you the sources. Hold these content givers accountable and do your own research. I agree with that, and I'm gonna expound upon that in a second here. You are the problem. That facts what he's saying. You are the problem. That's facts what he's saying. No people that hop on the internet and believe something someone said because they agree with it, or no argumentation, data, or background research of their own are the problem. How do you know it's a fact? What is the name of the study? What is it conducted? Right. So I gotta agree with that. We can read the rest of that, right? Black men run stop signs 70% of the time. Jeez. This is not true. Who is coming up with these numbers? I thank God for my father. He's the best. I miss him so much. Okay, so that's you can read some of those things, right? So I actually did the research here. Well, I actually tried to find it. So let me tell you what I found here. Let's see. We're going to take a look at a study. Well, this is from the Hill. I actually looked for the study. I put in the study. I put all this in, so I couldn't find anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at something that I did find from the Hill. 1/4 of adult children estranged from a parent. More than 1/4 of young adults are estranged from one or both parents or have been, a finding that suggests a societal shift away from the traditional bonds of family. Several recent studies, articles, and hot-selling books have hinted that young America is rejecting the biblical adage, honor thy father and mother, along with the attendant concept of compulsory kinship. Indeed, young adults are picking who will populate their families, right? One study, drawing on thousands of interviews with adults, found that 26% reported estrangement from their fathers. This might be the study he's talking about, that the other video was talking about. A much smaller share, 6%, had cut ties with mothers. The findings appeared in the April issue of the journal Marriage and Family. I think it relates to the new desire to have healthy relationships, said Rin Rezchek, a sociology professor at Ohio State University and lead author of the study. There might be some cultural shifts around people being allowed to choose who is your family, and that can include not choosing to have the person who raised you to be in your family, right? So this is what I got from the Hill, right? Other books, titles, Rules of Engagement, Fault Lines, Fractured Families, and How to Mend Them, flown off the shelves. Several surveys and studies have found pockets of young Americans who sever contact with parents. Perhaps one adult child in 10 is incommunicado with mom or dad at any given moment. Over the course of young adulthood, Rezek found at least 1 in 4 Americans will break ties with their parents. Many rifts ultimately heal. So this may be what he's talking about. I don't know. But let's get to the study. So I did click on this 26% study. I did click on this one, so let's bring up that study. All right, so here's the other study, right? Parent-adult estrangement in the United States by gender, race, ethnicity, and sexuality. It's my assumption that this is what this guy is talking about. And this was 2022. The Hill article was from 2023. It's 2024 now as I record this. To provide national representative estimates of parent-adult-child estrangement background, population-level research on parent-adult-child estrangement is needed to understand the full range of family dynamics in the United States. We estimate logistic regression models using data from the National Longitudinal Study of Youth 1979 and Accompanied Child and Young Adult Supplement to determine estimates of estrangement and subsequent unestrangement from mothers, and 8,495, and fathers 8,119, by children's gender, ethnicity, race, and sexuality. We then estimate the hazards of first estrangement from mothers and all that. Results. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but what are the results? 6% of respondents, 6% of respondents report a period of estrangement from mothers, with an average of first maternal estrangement of 26 years old. 26% of respondents report estrangement from fathers, with an average of the first paternal estrangement of 23 years old. That means by the age of 23, 1 in 4 people will not be speaking to their father. Results further show heterogeneity by gender, race, ethnicity, and sexuality. For example, daughters are less likely to be estranged from their mothers than sons are. Black children are less likely than white children to be estranged from their mothers, but more likely to be estranged from their fathers. And gay and lesbian and bisexual adult children are more likely than heterosexuals to be estranged from their fathers, right? So fathers have this thing about them where this control, alpha maleness is not conducive to gay, lesbian, bisexual children, and in their children overall than in comparison to white families. The study provides a compelling new evidence on an overlooked aspect of intergenerational relationships, concluding with insight into the structural forces that may unequally contribute to estrangement patterns. Let's jump down to race, ethnicity. Due to historical and I haven't read this, so this is my first time going through this. Due to historical and contemporary structural and institutional racism, as well as different cultural norms and expectations, family patterns are racialized in the USA today. Black adults are theorized to be more deeply connected to their mothers. This is everything that has been talked about the black manosphere. And Latin people are theorized to adhere to norms of familialism, which stipulate stronger social norms and obligations of intergenerational connection than white people. Supporting this point, empirical work shows Black and Latin individuals have higher rates of co-residence with their parents and a greater degree of contact than white people. Black and Latin families also experience more interpersonal strains due to multiple layers of racism, vicarious and institutional, that may impact fatherhood, in particular via the mass incarceration of black men's lower wages and educational access due to systemic economic oppression relative to white men, and the resulting higher levels of non-residential fatherhood. As we hypothesize that white adult children will have higher rates of estrangement from mothers, but lower rates of paternal estrangement compared to Black and Latin. So as we get down to the results here, we see that we have this table 1 here, right? Prevalence estimates of parent-child estrangement by gender, race, ethnicity, sexual identity, and birth year of child. Gender estranged for men is 6%, women is 5% from the mother. From the father, 24%, 27%, right? White, this might be the study this guy's talking about. White, from the father, estranged is 21% for white individuals. Black is 49%, almost 50%. Latin, 33%. Other, 30.1%. Multiracial, 46%. Sexuality from the father, and all that. So they break it all down here. So let's jump down to the discussion here. We use national longitudinal data to provide population-based estimates of U.S. paternal and maternal estrangement by gender, race, ethnicity, and sexuality. We demonstrate not only estrangement prevalence and patterns across socio-demographic groups, but also average age of first estrangement, how both parents and parents' socioeconomic and family characteristics relate to estrangement, and the pattern of subsequent unestrangement. In discussing our contributions below, we show how our estrangement today, estrangement patterns, we show our assessment of estrangement patterns provide a more holistic view of the dark side of the family life today, and further highlight the ways in which societal inequities, most notably racism, homophobia, and gendered systems of oppression, are revealed in estrangement patterns. As a first key contribution, we show the prevalence, timing, and rates of subsequent estrangement in our population-based U.S. 6% of respondents reported estrangement from their fathers at least one time from the age of 15 onward, and more than a quarter reported at least one period of estrangement from their fathers from age 15 onward, representing 1 in 4 adult child-father relationships and more than 1 in 20 adult child-mother relationships. These findings are consistent with long-studied gender differences in the structure of parenting across the life course, wherein mothers are considered more central and consistent players in the lives of their children than their. Still, our findings suggest that estrangement, even maternal estrangement, but especially paternal estrangement, is a key aspect of family life for a sizable minority of adult children in the U.S., despite assumptions of the permanence of parent-child tie in much of the family scholarship today. So it could be, and if many of these unestrangements become many of these estrangements become unestrangements, or they end up healing the rifts, it could be that they come around and say, hey, you know what, dad was right. Dad was right. And they're trying to blame it on racism and gender and all that, right? So maybe it's just, maybe it's just old-fashioned ways and people don't want to deal with it. And then sooner or later they come around and say, hey, you know what, my dad did the best he could do. He was right. He was there to be loved. He was there to give me direction and guidance, and not necessarily to be the arm that I wanted him to cry, that I wanted somebody to cry on all the time. Our analysis provides some insight into the timing and correlates of first estrangement that correspond to key transitions into young adulthood. According to life course theory, adult children, this is exactly what I was just saying. According to life course theory, adults' children emerging in young adults periods are rife with considerable life course transitions, including parenthood, marriage, enrollment in higher education, and full-time employment. These transitions may precipitate and protect against estrangement. Our hazard models show the average age of first estrangement occurs in emerging and adult life course stage, about 26 years for the mother estrangement and 23 for the father. Further, our hazard estrangement results give us clues as to why this life course change is at most risk of estrangement. First, adult children who were previously married had a higher hazard of maternal and paternal estrangement compared to never married adults. So when you get married, you stop talking to your parents, probably because they disapprove of your choice, maybe, choice of mate. Young adults have been previously married, have undergone 2 major life transitions fairly early in their life course, marriage and divorce, with our results indicating that this instability in marriage relationship may translate or be a key selection factor driving parental estrangement. Second, an adult child having their own children decreases the risk of estrangement from fathers, although not from mothers, suggesting a multi-generation of ties from a further tether between fathers and their young children. Speculations. All right. This is a good article. I'm gonna go through this a little bit more. I just wanted to show that this is probably the article that the guy was talking about. I'm definitely going to go through this a little bit more, because they want to blame this on changing dynamics and gendered and we don't like certain individuals as fathers, and we're disappointed in them, and they're being held back at work and all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to go through this a little bit more, but I think this is the article the guy was talking about. If anybody else can find another article about that, shoot it to me. I may do this another time. I'm not going to read this whole thing because there's some stuff going on here. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, your opinions, and what are you doing to make sure that your children, if you're a father, what are you doing to make sure that your children love you and do not harbor any type of resentment towards you? Yes, you can and should provide them with discipline. You should provide them with love. And you can do that where you take them hunting or get them involved in go-kart racing, or have tea with them during the princess parties and all this kind of stuff, right? You can do whatever you want. Just really, really make sure that you tell your children that you love them, that they're important, that they're valuable, and they have meaning, and that they're going somewhere in life. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Much love and peace, everyone.